Hello everyone and welcome to my CS24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Archaeologist advises dig be stopped on the curse of Oak Island after artifact found. A dig on the curse of Oak Island is brought to a halt by an archaeologist in a new sneak peek for Season 5, Episode 3. After what appears to be a significant discovery, Laird Niven, an archaeologist who has previously worked with Rick and Marty Lagina and the team on the series, is shown telling Marty as he uproots trees using an excavator, "I think we have to stop." It comes after Laird appears to see something in the ground that is being dug up. Marty, who is at the controls of the excavator, asks him, "You strongly suspect this is an artifact?" Laird says, "Yes, I do." Footage then shows a close-up of some sort of debris before Laird is seen looking through the dirt that has been dug up. Rick, appearing to refer to the incident, says in an interview with producers, "If we get a much greater understanding of what happened here, that's what we're looking for, answers." Don't miss 10 facts about Rick and Marty Lagina. The moment comes after footage is shown of Marty reading from a piece of paper in a meeting with other members of the Oak Island team, while saying in an interview, "Culture and heritage has mandated that archaeologists be involved with any digging." It's thought the excavation takes place close to the money pit area, as the clip starts with Rick saying, "Whenever you're in close proximity to the money pit, you have no idea of what you might find." Laird was the archaeologist the team brought in at the start of Season 4 to help investigate a mysterious hatch they discovered. We told last week how the description for Episode 3 revealed the treasure hunt on Oak Island faces being shut down after alarming news. It also sees the team find hard evidence of a European presence on the island, thought to be a coin, more than a century before the money pit was discovered. Meanwhile, Rick Lagina recently gave a big hint that this season the team uncover evidence of some sort of link on the island to the Knights Templar. The August sun hung low over Mahone Bay, its reflection fractured by the rippling Atlantic waters surrounding Oak Island. The Lagina brothers, Rick and Marty, stood with a mixture of pride and apprehension as the latest find from the swamp was carefully laid out on a wooden table. It wasn't gold, nor was it the elaborate chest of jewels fans of the curse of Oak Island had hoped for. Instead, it was something stranger, an intricately carved stone tablet, caked in mud but undeniably man-made. The excavation team had barely cleaned the surface before calling in Dr. Emily Harrow, the project's lead archaeologist. She was a woman who spoke sparingly but whose words carried authority. Her credentials included digs in Europe, North Africa, and even a brief stint at a Viking settlement in Newfoundland. Yet nothing in her career had prepared her for what she now held in her hands. "This is older than anything you've found so far," she said, brushing the soil from the grooves. Symbols emerged, curved lines, geometric shapes, and what looked eerily like a serpent winding its way toward a series of circles. And, if I'm right, it could be ceremonial. The crew leaned in closer. Gary Drayton's metal detector still rested against the table, its beeping long forgotten. Jack Begley had his camera rolling, while Charles Barkhouse studied the carvings with scholarly reverence. But it was Rick Lagina who finally broke the silence. "Are you saying this is proof of an ancient culture? The Vikings, the Templars, or something else entirely?" Dr. Harrow didn't answer immediately. Instead, she turned the artifact under the light, her fingers tracing the grooves like a pianist testing unfamiliar keys. Then, with a grave look, she placed it back on the table and folded her arms. "I'm saying you need to stop digging. Immediately." The declaration was a gut punch. Marty's eyebrows shot up. "Stop? After all this? Emily, you've been telling us for years to dig deeper, to follow the evidence. Now, when we find something significant, you want us to stop." "It's not about what you found," she replied firmly. "It's about what it represents. This tablet, it's not treasure. It's a marker, a warning, maybe even a boundary stone. In archaeology, when you find an artifact that indicates ritual or sacred activity, you don't bulldoze through. You pause. You reassess. Otherwise, you risk destroying the context. The very story this object was meant to tell. Rick rubbed the back of his neck. He had heard similar words from cautious experts before, but something about Emily's tone unsettled him. You think this could be a burial site? Possibly, she said, or a sacred ground. The serpent motif is often linked to guardianship. It could mean the site was meant to be protected, sealed off. Whatever lies below isn't just wealth, it could be spiritual. And tampering with it might cross a line you can't uncross. The tension around the swamp thickened. For years, Oak Island had been a place of tantalizing clues and endless speculation. Coins, shards of pottery, bits of parchment. But none had carried the weight of taboo. To the treasure hunters, the swamp had always been a puzzle. To Harrow, it now looked like a grave warning. Gary whistled low, shaking his head. Blimey. So you're saying this ain't a treasure map? More like a keep-out sign? Exactly, Emily replied. And historically, ignoring such warnings has had consequences. Marty let out a short laugh, though there was little humor in it. Consequences? You mean curses? Emily's eyes flicked to him, steady and unflinching. I don't deal in superstition, but I do deal in history. And history is full of cultures who believed their sacred sites needed protection. Disturbing them often led to disaster, not because of mystical forces, but because you destroy something invaluable, something you can't replace. Rick, always the more spiritual of the brothers, felt a chill. For years, he had been drawn to Oak Island not just by the promise of treasure, but by an unshakable sense of destiny. But Emily's words reframed that pull. What if the destiny wasn't to uncover riches, but to guard against disaster? Still, the television cameras were rolling, the network executives were hungry for revelations, and the global audience clamored for answers. To stop now would be to surrender the momentum that had carried the show through more than a decade of exploration. Jack finally broke the silence, his voice trembling with barely contained excitement. But what if this is the key? What if this marker is pointing us directly to the treasure we've been chasing? The money pit, the vault, whatever it is, we might be inches away. Or, Emily countered, you might be inches away from desecrating something that was never meant to be disturbed.